All right, welcome back, everybody. Trying something a little bit different tonight. It's called potato pavé, and it is supposed to be a more, what do they say, more upscale, more refined version of scalloped potatoes. Usually you use russet potatoes, but today I'm trying something a little bit different, and I'm going with sweet potatoes. So what you want to do, and I've already done the majority of these, but we got one here to do a little demo with. You want to square these bad boys off. And yes, I know people are probably gonna be like, dude, what is going, you're wasting a whole bunch of potato there. But with all of this, I plan to boil and make into a mashed potato. Just something for a little snack for the chef. So what we need to do next is we have our mandolin. And yes, I always wear this glove. And I know it's a little bit gnarly looking, but it stops me from potentially losing a finger. And believe me, I've had a number of run-ins that taught me the hard way to use this glove. So we want it as thinly sliced as you can possibly get. I mean, those are almost paper thin. No, see through them. So we see it as well. It's not gonna do trick. It's not coming. Looking pretty good. So then you're going to do the entire batch, and then we have a cup of heavy cream, and I have some salt and pepper added to it. We're just going to start loading these in here. Some of these came out pretty thick. All right, so now we'll go back to our bowl and start layering these back in here, making sure they're all covered. You can see that or not. So the purpose of putting them in here is to help stop the oxidation process of your potatoes, whether they're russet potatoes or red potatoes, or as we all know, you leave a potato out for a little while. After you've peeled it, it starts to turn brown. So we're stopping that by putting them in this heavy cream. All of these incorporated here. Probably could have used a little bit bigger of a bowl, but hey, live and learn. This is my first time making this. All right, I'm going to let these bad boys sit for a little bit, and then when we come back, we will start layering these suckers in the pan. All right, catch you back in a couple minutes. We are now ready to line our pan. I've already gone ahead and used some softened butter to line it up. And now we need to line this with parchment paper. So the butter is actually doing two things. It's going to make it easy when we go to take this bad boy out, but then at the same time, it's also helping hold the sides in. If we're smart, I would have done this ahead of time. You got the size is all figured out, so you're not sitting here watching me like a fool. But hey, what have I said before? Come on in, enjoy. We have a few laughs, either if it's at my expense. All right, so here, pretty decent. Now we need to, you could use butter and brush it in, but I mean, I feel like I can't go wrong with this. Lighter. And we're gonna throw a little bit of salt. Some pepper. Actually, turn this down a little bit. It was set on coarse. Just a little bit. Now we want to start lining these bad boys up. You want just a little bit of overlap. Not a lot. See that or not. Just a little bit of overlap. And actually, that one's a little bit too long, so I'm gonna cut that off. Try to get them as uniform as possible. And you're gonna do 2 rows. 4. Again. Our first row is done. And yeah, I'm guessing you're thinking the same thing I'm thinking. Is like, man, this is some tedious ass work, and it is. So it better come out good. Thank you for reminding me. So after we're done doing all this, we're going to close it up. That's why we have the gap, or the overlap of the parchment paper, because we're going to fold it in on itself and cover it. And then we take it and we put that bad boy in the oven for about an hour, maybe almost 2 hours, because you really want to let it cook down. All right. I didn't think this through, did I? Rinse off a little bit. So obviously every 2 times I'm gonna have to be going back to the sink, because now I have Kerrygold butter here. Get this out of the way so you can see it there. Because in between each of these rows, we're going to add little dollops of butter. So I'm just sectioning that. Another, this, that's coarse. Just a very little bit. Salt and pepper. So we will keep doing that until these are all added to our pan, and we'll be ready to go to the oven. Yeah, be back. Okay, so we're at the point now where my guess is going to be we got this last layer to go. And what I've done is every time you do 2 layers, salt, very little bit of salt, very little bit of pepper. Take your little pieces of butter, and I just kind of spread them throughout here. They're soft, so then I've been pushing them down so it's not too big. So kind of like that. And then as you can see, we got a pile here that I took out. We still have a decent amount left in here. So again, just keep on keeping on. I'll have to figure out how long this actual process was. I feel like it's been about 30 minutes. And I did 5 layers. So that's 10 because we're doing 2 before we butter and salt. So it's 10 total passes. And we're gonna end perfectly. I could have done that better. I couldn't have planned that if I tried. All right. So now I'm going to add a few more little things of butter here on the top. And wow, we got it, right? It's here, might as well use it. So that total is 1 stick of butter. And I'm not sure if I mentioned it in the beginning of the video, and if I did, oh well, you're gonna hear it twice. It's Kerrygold, and it's a garlic and herb butter. I usually make my own compound butter. You probably saw that video on the channel here on YouTube. And if not, go take a look at it. Kind of a fun thing to do. These I'm probably gonna compost. But yeah, let's get this cleaned up and we'll come back and put it all away. All right, so now I'm going to add one last little crack of my pepper with my pepper cannon, which is the most amazing pepper grinder I've ever had in my life. I can thank the wife and daughter for that. And some tin foil. So now I have to cover this up and wrap it in on itself. Okay. Then I'm going to cover the pan tightly with tin foil. Right. So now the the next part is to throw this in the oven. Got it already preheated to 350 degrees. And that's gonna go on there. We want the potatoes to be really, really soft. And it's gonna cook down. All that butter is gonna help that kind of stay really moist. And what's supposed to happen is these potatoes are going to cook, and the reason why we slice them so thin is they're going to make this little brick of potato. They're almost gonna like melt into each other, per se. So yeah, let's come back in a couple of hours. I'm gonna guess an hour and a half, maybe even 2. And then we'll take it from the oven and take a little look-see. All right, so we finally hit our 2-hour mark. We've turned the oven off, and I let it sit for 15 minutes to start cooling down. Now we're on to the next phase. Alright. Not sure how cool it is. And then all of the pieces that we had left over are in there for another little project. Okay. So the next thing we're going to do is we need to get this to press down. It needs to be just small enough that it doesn't completely cover it up. So let's see. I did not do a very good job of measuring here. The sides. We all have tons of things on deliveries that will easily provide. All right, that's a little right there. So now we'll put here. Wrap this up. Just take a little peek. Little peekaboo. So I'm confident that it's cooked more than cooked exactly how much I needed it to, but just for shits and gigs, let's poke. You want to have like, yeah, there you go. It's like butter. We're trying to get 2 cans on top of here. I feel like that may still need cut off a little bit more. That's big. All right, watch this action real time now. Because again, we want those cans to weigh it down. And our next step is going to be to put this in the refrigerator overnight. And I think, if I recall from my looking it up, how to make this, I think they say you can leave it in there for like 2 days. All right, so that's pressing it down. And again, you're gonna wanna leave this in the refrigerator at least overnight. Again, they say you can leave it for a couple days. I'm not doing that. I'm gonna let it sit for a little over 24 hours. It's midnight now here. So maybe tomorrow for dinner, we will do the second piece, which is going to be removing the weights, taking this potato pave out of the pan, and then you cut it into small. I'm probably gonna do little 1 inch by 1 inch. Obviously we'll decide that tomorrow. and then you throw them into a skillet, a really hot skillet, and you kind of brown the sides. And it's gonna be like a small little crusty potato pie thingy, I think. Obviously we'll find out when we do the taste test and everything else, but yeah, so we'll see you back when we're ready for the next piece. All right, talk to you soon. All right, we are back. It has been almost 24 hours, and our little potato pavé has been in the refrigerator and been weighed down. Now we're gonna cut it up and we're gonna fry it and we're gonna plate and be ready to go. So I have my new amazing cameraman woman with me tonight. Cheers. Let's do this. All right, so we're gonna take the tin foil off. Now, since we buttered the pan, this should be able to pop right out. Or not. Oh, there we go. Trying not to break it. Just want to get it rolled over. And there's a lot of butter. Grab my towel. Let's get our oil started. All right, so we want to trim these. This actually came out looking pretty good. I'm going to cut these right down the middle. And we're going to make them into squares. I really hope this works. Oscar hopes it works also. So while we're waiting for this oil to heat up, I'm going to go ahead and cut up some green onion. I'm going to use this. Let's put a bit of a topper, along with our chives that I've already cut, and these are going to go in the pan. Each one of these will go on top. We're looking pretty good. Our oil is looking pretty hot. So let's head on over and fry these up. Now we're gonna wanna give them like maybe 30, 45 seconds each side. The oil's kind of hot, as you can tell. We're gonna get a little bit of crisp on them, and then we're gonna flip them over, and then we're going to put those on a paper towel, kind of take a little bit of that oil off, and we'll be ready to plate. Till then, just keep on cooking. meatballs. Oh yeah. I have a feeling this is why you use russet potatoes instead of sweet potatoes, because they're kind of starting to slowly fall apart on me here. All right, so these have cooled off for a little bit. We have them on paper towels. It kind of takes a little bit of that oil out. Now it's just a matter of delicately plating these. So nasty. Sprinkle with some, I think I say put a little bit of butter on top. Some chives. And I decided to add a little bit of onion. And that will be the final plate. But, of course I can't let it go away without tasting some. So I'm gonna take one right off the top. Bon appetito. Petito. Still pretty hot. It's good. Obviously very buttery. Yeah, I think the russet is the way to go to keep the firmness, because it's definitely almost like a pudding. But I wouldn't pass it up. So, all right, thanks for joining us. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and thanks for grilling in general. See you next time.